The TF2 workshop is a wonderful place. Plenty of brilliant, interesting, and original ideas. And plenty of dumb ones too. So let's take a look at some of them and judge them. We have the Missing Kill Icons pack. This is labeled as a community fix. And as you can see here, they have created a good amount of new icons as well as adjusted and fixed some new icons. And from what I can see from these icons here, they look pretty good to me. We also have some images of these new kill icons in action. Once again, everything looks pretty good to me. And as you can see here, there are tons of awards that have been given to this particular workshop item. Now again, I don't really understand if these community fixes ever actually get put into the game. But I will go ahead and vote yes, under the assumption that there are no larger negative consequences. But feel free to let me know what your thoughts are on these kill icons. To me, it seems like pretty much a win-win scenario if these were added into the game. Let's vote yes on that. We have yet another community fix here. It is Dragon's Fury Pilot Light Fix. And as you can see here, it looks like from the perspective of others, the pilot is not lit for the Dragon's Fury. As you can see here, before and after. I actually didn't realize that was an issue to begin with. So that's actually, on its own, a very neat tidbit of information there. Pretty easy for me to vote yes on this, so I will vote yes. Oh, this is actually very interesting. This is the first time I've actually seen a community item that's actually tied to a potential update that's coming soon. As you can see here, this is marked as a summer update, posted recently, July 13th. Now, I don't really understand how I would get any sense for what this MVM map has to offer other than by playing it. Maybe if I look at, oh, right here. Here we go. Okay. Now, this looks very interesting. MVM Waterfront. Funnily enough, this has given me some Half-Life feelings when I look at some of this. Oh yeah, like this as well, very industrial. But what really gave me the Half-Life memories was this area out here, having this lakefront and this docking area. Oh, you know what else also probably contributed to that feeling was this airboat right here. That probably is what did it. But let's keep looking around. We have some sort of, I wonder if this industrial building has something to do with the water. Could it be some sort of water processing plant or something like that? I'm not 100% sure. Remove caustic damage using water pools. Interesting. So there are unique elements to the map, which is nice to see. And you can see in the background here, there's a large mountain. Very neat. And they have different difficulties, which is also very interesting. I have to admit, I am very interested. However, I think the only fair way to go about this would be to actually download and play it, which I will not be doing here. So let's head back to the queue, and then I'll just put Ask Me Again later. Or I guess I have to say not interested. Alright, let's move on. We have another part of that previous map, so I'm going to have to, as well, put no thanks. Oh, here we go. Now this is actually interesting. An Australian gunslinger. Oh wait, this is a war paint and not, oh, item slot weapon, class engineer. Now in terms of the quality of the actual weapon, I don't think that something about this doesn't look right to me. I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe I haven't seen what the gunslinger looks like usually, but to me this coloring seems a little bit off. So I'm going to put no thanks. However, it would be really neat to have an Australian gunslinger put in the game. Don't you think? Anyways, I'll put no thanks. Here we go. Yet another one of those waterfront maps, so again, I have to put no thanks, just because I'm not able to play it right now. Maybe that would be a fun video to do, is playing this map and giving a sort of reaction to it. What do you think about that? That actually could potentially be fun. So I'll keep that in mind. We have the revamped Reventilator. Now this one does look a bit funny. I have to say, out of all the TF2 mercs, I wasn't really expecting the Pyro to have a mouthful of cigarettes. However, it does make the most sense practically to have the cigarettes be coming out of the gas mask like that. So I think it's pretty interesting. And it doesn't do too much in terms of changing the pyro, so I like it, I suppose. I'll go ahead and put a yes on that. We have the Explosive Explosion. This is a unusual effect. And as you can see here, it just looks like a nuke went off overhead of the merc here. Now, I don't really have any unusual effects, so I haven't really developed a taste for any of these unusual effects yet. From what I can see, which is not very much, it looks fine. However, I don't know that I could vote yes on this just because I feel like I need some more context to make a proper decision. I'm gonna go ahead and vote no. Here we have the nuclear warhead. Now this one right here is a bit boring to me, and there's not a ton of images to go off of. Personally, I'm not very interested in this one here. Maybe there's a version of this that I would be interested in, but as it stands, I don't like the way this looks. I'm gonna put no. Alright, we have a war paint here. That guy N. Now, I don't think that this would ever be put into the game, and I don't really want this put into the game. However, we can appreciate what it is, and it's directly in reference to Steam, as well as Gabe Newell. There's also an aspect of this war paint that has a bunch of discount signs. I don't particularly like the idea behind this one or the way it looks. And I don't really think that Valve would ever be interested in putting such a blatant reference to themselves in the game. However, I guess I could be mistaken on that. Oh, I do like that it has different wear qualities right there. That's pretty neat. Maybe I'm off though. What do you think about this one? I'm gonna say no. I don't think it looks amazing, and again, just the idea of it I'm not in favor of, really. Alright, we have Scurrilous Salts. Team colored. So it's a bunch of salt shakers on a war paint. Yeah, this is not particularly inviting to me, unfortunately. I don't really understand why it's salt shakers either. The only part of this that I do like is the fact that it's team colored. I really don't understand the theming of having it be a salt shaker. If you downvote, is it because you're salty? Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to downvote this, unfortunately, just because I don't entirely see the appeal. However, it doesn't look horrible. It just doesn't look that great to me, and again, I'm a little bit confused by the theme being salt itself. Well, I guess that was the joke that they made, is potentially making other players salty. I think maybe there'd have to be a little bit more work done in terms of the actual look of the gun for that joke to pay off, for me at least. I'm gonna put no thanks. Oh boy. Okay, this one, this is a solid no. I don't know what else I could say about this one. Electricism. Now here, this is something that I am very, very much not interested in. I don't like the color scheme. However, I will say now that I'm looking at it, it is quite reminiscent of the missing texture in what Gary's mod, and I'm assuming other Source games as well. Now that I brought that up, kind of like it a little bit more, but still not enough to actually vote for it. I'm gonna put no on that one. Alright, and that about does it. To me, it feels like we went through that pretty quickly, although I think a lot of the workshop items we saw were related to that one MVM map, so maybe that had something to do with it. Thank you for watching. As usual, let me know your thoughts if you have any on this video. If you'd like to support this channel, check out the Patreon. There is a free tier, which gives you access to updates on what I'm working on. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.